Well, yeah, my Norseman's on the table again, and it's not because I want to show off. I'm going to explain to you some of the benefits of a flat detent, and to really show you what it is, we're going to have to take it apart. So let's go ahead and get this thing apart and take a look inside it. So as you can see, I've actually got two knives apart, but what we're talking about is the detent. And if you look here, you can see that that is not a ball, that is flat. Now that does provide a couple little benefits. And on most knives, what you have is an actual ball. Well, a lot of knives that have really snappy action use a flat detent because, as opposed to coming up and being angular like this and allowing a transition out of the hole on the blade, which is on this side, where it ramps up and it comes out on that rounded angular area where it gives you more of a soft detent, this has to overcome, screw fell out. This has to overcome that flat edge. And so when it does snap out and come up and snap up and over, it's got a lot more energy behind it. So you can get a really snappy action with a little bit less lock bar tension. So that's one of the main benefits. One of the other benefits that is kind of a secondary benefit is, as opposed to these knives where the tension of that ball is directly pushing on one small spot, and you can see that's really kind of a pronounced cut in that blade. This is spread out on a wider surface, and on this one, you run your finger across that, you really can't feel that. On this one, I can actually feel the little track that is cut in there. So break-in on these knives is usually a little faster. The other thing that I have noticed that is a big benefit that these have, not just the snappy action, not just the really smooth action because that detent tension is spread out across a larger area, is several knives that I own have been dropped. And while they were in the process of being opened, so they might have been in a partially opened position, and the detent bar, or the lock bar, got slapped hard onto the ground, and it has caused a little nick or a ding in that track. And you can absolutely feel it in the action of that knife. Now it ticks across that, and it takes a long time. It takes a really long time of opening and closing that knife to get that to smooth back out. If you were to drop this, it doesn't have a sharp point, and it's not going to affect the detent track. I have found that most of the knives that run on these flat face detents have a smoother action and a snappier action just because of the way they're designed. There's nothing wrong with a ball, but I just have found that I like a lot of knives that have this more flat detent. And over time, these detent balls will wear. You can see this knife has been carried and used a lot. You can see I've actually worn a flatter spot on this. And over time, this will probably be flat, but not to the extent that this is. So that's just a couple little cool things about it. Like I said, absolutely, you have to apply a little bit. Like by the time you apply enough force for this knife to overcome that sharp, hard edge as opposed to a rounded ball, you've got a lot snappier action. So there you go. Just a real quick video on what the benefits of a flat face detent are. Not saying they're better. I happen to like it. I like both. I like them both, but this one does have some definite benefits. So just a quick little 3-minute inside a knife video.